No bags found, no scales found, yet I still got stung with an 8-month community service and a cultivation charge for gardening in my house. Let's talk about that. Hello, YouTube world. My name is Katie. If you're new around here, then welcome. But if you're not new, welcome back, love. So I put out a poll maybe a week or so ago. So the response was overwhelming with yes. So here is your video. Go and get yourselves a cup of tea or a cup of coffee or any sort of beverage that you want. Grab yourself some snacks, make sure that you're comfy. And I'll tell you the story about how I got done with cultivation. I've just told you to go and get a tea and all that. I don't even have one, so we're going to cut straight to where I have a tea. And there we go. I hope everybody's comfy as I take you down a trip to a not so happy memory lane. Again, I'm going to try and be careful in this video, so I'm going to refer to myself as a self-taught herbologist, if you get what I mean.
The soil should envelop the root like a warm, dirty blanket.
So a trip down memory lane we go, because it was indeed a very long time ago. We're talking back in 2009, 10 at the maximum. So I was living in London. This is how I remember, because I was in my early 20s and living in London. And if you read the article that came out, you would know that my anxiety started in my early 20s. So this rings very true to my core memory of what happened. So in my early 20s, I started to get incredibly anxious, and basically somebody showed me, and it really, really helped me. And I was self-medicating for a while. However, if you've also seen this video up here, I'll link it in the description, you'll know that I vaguely spoke about the issue that we had with street herbs going back in the 2000s, where we had a lot of it that was sprayed. So if you don't know what that means, it basically means that it was tainted with. The flour that you were getting was sprayed with either sugar or fiberglass or sandblasted, basically something to fuck the flour up with.
Oh, that's nasty.
And it caused, as you can tell, incredible health issues. So we had this really, really bad problem going around in the 2000s, and it was at that time that myself and my partner that I was with decided that we would be self-taught herbologists and we would have our own. My ex-partner was, he was in his 20s as well, but he was very successful. He was a very smart man. His parents owned multiple businesses. He was in stocks. He was very good at investing. He had multiple cars and he had money, right? So we rented a place in London, in North London, and that was where we stayed. Anyway, there must have been a group of people that knew who he was and didn't like the fact that he had what he had. 6 of them, to be exact. Big, tall, 6 male people. So basically, what happened was, I got a phone call one day. I wasn't in the house, and I got a phone call one day basically saying, Katie, you need to go home. He's been robbed. I obviously spoke to my friend who was driving, because I didn't drive at the time. You know, we're going all the way back here, so I didn't drive. My friend, she spat around from wherever we were, and we went back to the house. The minute that we pulled up to the house, there was Old Bill everywhere, and I mean everywhere. And before I could get out of the car, she said to me, Katie, give me your phone. And I said, what? She went, just give me your phone now. I said, okay. So I gave her my phone. So I stepped out of the car and walked into the house. Now, as I walked into the house, the police officer turned around to me and said, are you Katie? I said, yes. He said, do you live here? I said, yes. And he said, all right, you're under arrest for cultivation. I was like, what? I'm pretty sure my house has just been robbed, right? So I sort of went off on one. I was like, hold on a minute, I've just been robbed. And I went around. The whole place was tipped over. The sofa was tipped over. My PlayStation was gone. My laptop was gone. 3 grand in cash was gone. Like, there was a lot of stuff that was gone, right? But that didn't matter because there was 7 herbology, gardening plants that were upstairs in a room.
Yours was a bit mature, I'm afraid.
So immediately I was arrested for cultivation right there and then on the spot for having this. Then they started looking around the house to see if they could find anything, which I knew they were obviously looking for bags, scales, anything to tie us to supply, right? However, that was never going to be the case because, as I said, I was self-medicating and the issue was street. So this was purely for self. I didn't find out what happened until after this all happened. So how the police got called, how that all happened was when we were living in the place we were living at, it was a very nice area and it was a show home, and the neighbours next door to us were obviously very nice people and they knew that something was wrong because 6 big tall dudes had pushed their way through the door, right? So this is what happened. Apparently they knocked on the door and said yo to my partner at the time, right? He didn't open the door, but like, oh, I don't even know, but this is what he told me. This is exactly what happened, right? Because obviously I'm out in the car with my mate at this time. So 6 dudes turn up to the house and they're like, hey yo, do you know where the A406 is, bro? And for some reason my partner lets them in, or opens the door, sorry, he doesn't let him in, he like opens the door to be like, oh, like what? I don't fucking know. Bam, ambushed, straight through, don't matter, knife to his throat, show me where the money is, show me where everything is, like, scary as hell, right? Obviously, scary as hell. So he's just fucking doing nothing, right? Doing nothing while these guys just come through, ram raid the entire place. My puppy was there as well, so God knows, like, what was going on at the time. Yeah, they just took whatever they wanted and then fucked off. And but unbeknownst to him, the neighbour had called old Bill because he was being robbed.
To think that my house was broken into by brutes.
So old Bill turned up to check the house for the robbers, found the tent and was like, oh, we don't care about that anymore. Hi, hi, hi. Give me your hands. So they started looking around the house. They couldn't find anything, and then called for transportation to take us to the cells. Now, this was a bit weird. Don't know why it happened, but they ended up placing us in the same car with a police officer in the middle. Right, so normal 5-seater car, yeah, 3 people in the back, 2 in the front. There was 1 police officer in the front, and they had me and my partner sitting on either side with this other police officer in the middle, driving to the police station. Bit weird. So obviously me and my partner were kind of like talking, innit? You know? Obviously, as you do. I was a young 20-year-old being arrested for something I couldn't wrap my head around because I'd just been robbed, right? To me, I didn't see my herbology issue. I didn't see that because it was just didn't see it, right? I was like, well, it's not for anyone else, you know, but still it didn't matter. So we were kind of talking and the police officer was like, shh, shh, shh. And I remember specifically being like, you have placed us in the same vehicle. What do you expect? Because I was, you know, a little bit more back then. So, you know, I felt, what am I going to lose? What am I going to lose by fucking saying it? So anyway, we get to the station. They clock us in, and we were in the cells for about 18 hours before they released us. And it was awful. It was absolutely awful, as you can imagine. But it wasn't as bad as having to stand in those fucking docks thinking that I might actually go to prison.
Salve Grumio.
All right, landlord.
For gardening and planting something that helps me with my crippling conditions. It was just awful, absolutely awful experience. So I'm standing there, and obviously my partner's standing there. We've both never been in trouble before for anything like this or anything like that. You know, it's first offence and whatnot. So mitigating circumstances was also the fact that there was no bags found, no scales found, no nothing to show that we were trying to supply or anything. So the verdict was cultivation, and I had an 8-month community service order to have to do.
Community service!
Now, if you don't know what community service is, basically it's when they tell you to go and help the community, right? So I've got no problem with this, you know, I don't mind helping the community. It was actually really fun. I probably shouldn't say that. But my community service actually turned out to be pretty cool. I was working in Edgware Hospital, and I was cleaning for people, helping people, met some really cool people there at the time, you know, but it could be worse, right? You could be put somewhere where you just don't want to do it. However, that's the issue if you commit a crime, which is exactly what I was doing. But in my 20-year-old mindset, I was just growing a plant to help me with my medical conditions. But that wasn't the case. So the fact that now we have 2018 where we can go and get a medical prescription is fucking brilliant, because I need to make you aware in this video of the amount of people in the video here where they were saying, just grow your own, just grow your own, just grow your own. Yeah, I agree with you, all right? I agree with you. However, you don't know me. You don't know that I already have a cultivation charge of that exact thing on my name, all right? So the more you're telling me to just grow it, bro, I'm not going to risk it for 5 years, 10 years, or possibly the maximum in the UK, 14 fucking years, when I can just pay for my legal prescription. Yeah, all right, I might be paying to companies and shit like that, and it's big pharma again and whatnot, but at the moment, bro, I have no choice, all right? I cannot set up anything in my house, and I will not set up anything in my house or anywhere else due to the fact that I've gone through this fucking issue, and I still have this cultivation charge on me. So I just had to make that aware, because there were so many comments of people saying, just grow it. And I'm like, yeah, I agree with you, but bro, I can't, all right? So just stop. So here you go. Here's your reasoning why, all right? Because back in 2010 or whenever it was, I was arrested for cultivation, herbology, for 7 plants, in my eyes, medicinal, but in the law's eyes, obviously not plants, that I now have a charge attached to. So it wasn't a great experience to go through. It was absolutely horrendous. Obviously, going as my early 20s as well. Like, you kind of in that bittersweet phase, really, because when you're in your early 20s, like, I didn't give a fuck at certain things, you know. However, when it gets put to you, as serious as it was, standing in the docks, potentially going to prison for something that you were doing to aid your health, you don't see it that way, because the law doesn't see it that way, right? The law doesn't see it that way. So you need to adjust your mindset to that. And that's a hard pill to swallow. That's a really, really hard pill to swallow. And I have a video coming up next week where we're going to delve a little bit deeper into the UK herbology laws. And I'm gonna tell you, when I was researching it, I broke down on one of the instances. I was reading someone's story, and I just broke down, man. It's horrible. It's horrible what we as patients get stigmatized as. So if you're not subscribed, make sure that you subscribe so that you don't miss that video. It would be a very interesting one to get your opinion on it. I'm not sure how long this video is going to be after all of the edits and everything, so I'm really sorry if it's been too long. But I hope you enjoyed it. That was my trip down memory lane. That was me. I know there's probably going to be a lot of comments about this, as it's quite a, not touchy subject, but it's a needed to talk about subject. But it's a little bit taboo, isn't it? Because like I mentioned, it's still against the law at the end of the day. So please do feel free, put your comments below, let me know what you're saying about this. As always, please like the video. It really does help push it out to the bigger part of the YouTube world. Thank you so much also for 3,000 subscribers. We are well on the way to the 5k goal that I have right now. Welcome to all new members, of course. You guys are amazing. You literally help me out so much. So thank you so much. If there's anything that you would like me to cover, then shove it down below. I'm looking at some video ideas right now. So yeah, let us have a talk about this. The for now, I'm going to go. Take care of yourselves, take care of each other, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!